Hello and welcome back to Always Off Brand. I am your co-host, Summer Jubileer, along with Scott Oshman.
Good morning, Summer.
Morning. Unfortunately, Haley Brucker, Haley in the News, cannot join us today because she is cleaning up dog feces.
I'm not laughing. Haley sends us just this fantastic long, novel of a text message about her 7,000 dogs and cats and chickens.
Dead chickens, live chickens.
It's got, poop, pee. It's just, it was a little too much for Haley Brucker in the News today.
For me, it was, thanks for the reminder. Maybe I shouldn't get a single animal in my house.
I know. I'm so jealous that you don't have any animals. I'm so jealous as I walked into a bad situation yesterday. But anyway, Summer, happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. And FIFA kicked off yesterday.
Yes, I watched a little bit of it.
Did you? I watched nothing. I really am not into soccer, but it is fun to have that. We're having the team come to Seattle and the games are going to be here, which is exciting. So Starbucks did this koozie, is what I'm calling it, but it's, their sleeves, their coffee sleeves. Normally they're these little nice cardboard sleeves that make it so your hand doesn't burn while you hold your drink. And they made these lovely ones.
Oh, is this your prop for our YouTube people?
Actually, I'm matching it today. So this is for FIFA, and it's a reusable sleeve. However, I think you'll probably get cancer from it by the way it smells. It is laced with so many chemicals.
Okay, then.
And literally holds back no heat. So yesterday... And what kills me is that they've launched it and they're like, hey, limited supplies. Because half the time when Starbucks does something it sells out within seconds. Oh God, I can't even keep this near my face. It sells out within seconds. Yesterday, I go to get it and I'm like, oh, sure, I'll take one. They have some. I'm sure I can't believe there's a few left at my store. I'm like, wow. Put it on. I get in the car and I'm like, what does that smell?
It's off-gassing.
And it's just fume. I don't litter. And you know how badly I want to chuck that thing out the window, but I couldn't because I don't litter. And so I get home, I put it in the trash. And all I can think about is once again, we're just making all this garbage. Not my coffee, just the sleeve.
No, good. We're making that'd be sacrilege.
And then today I have my coffee delivered.
Of course you do.
What's in the damn little bag? They can't get rid of these things.
Oh my God.
I was like, it's not allowed in the house. Keep it out. I'm going to wake up tomorrow with a third eye.
Come on, Starbucks. Let's go. Come on.
Did the design team who created this not test the product first and put it on their hot drinks to see
I don't know.
Especially as it warms up, as it absorbs the heat from the cup and not keeping it in, literally absorbing it and pushing it out.
Yeah.
The heat is activating some chemical within this little sleeve. It's so disgusting and so gag worthy and such a fail.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too, because it really turned my stomach. It took me about 5 minutes to go back to my coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I ended up.
You're a loyalist. I mean, you get you're a Starbucks through.
No,
and through.
I am a convenientless.
Wow, and my story was about text strings, and I'm exhausted by 7,000 text strings.
You send a lot of text strings. What are you talking about?
Just the group text. I've got 35 different group texts, and then they start a new group text, and I'm like, great, another group text. Fantastic.
Listeners, do you hear poor him? He's so popular. He just can't handle it. It's exhausting being him, this well-liked, that all these people want him in multiple group chats. My heart goes out to you.
Then I get a snarky reply to him super, another group text chain that I have to navigate and figure out, because the problem is I'm worried I'm going to send something to the wrong person, to the wrong thing. And
do you talk trash in your texts?
This is a group. This is, again, we're going a couple weeks. We go to our 30th fraternity, my college buddy golf trip every year. We just have 30th year. So we have this text string, but then somebody starts another one to leave the person who organizes it. We want to do something nice for them and all this other stuff. Anyway, I can't keep track of it. It's like my 8-tab rule, Summer. Like my ADD brain cannot handle that many things. Plus I am a man and I can't multitask and really think for myself. But other than that.
So we told my in-laws something that's going on with our family. It's all positive, but we're keeping it a secret for now. No, not pregnant. And
whoa,
what kills me is
I don't know.
You know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not, Yeah. Anyways, so I tell my mother-in-law and she's like, okay, we're not going to tell Aunt Sue, we're not going to tell the family yet until blah, blah. I'm like, yep, sounds good. Not even 24 hours later, I get a text and she's like, hey, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? And it's in the group family text.
See, there you go.
I was like, damn it, Jeej.
There you go.
And I text her on the side. I'm like, hey, you're writing in the group chat. Like, let's not. She's like, oh, darn, sorry. Literally the next text 2 hours that comes from her right back in the group chat. I'm like, Jeej. Just look above.
Yeah. Speaking of group text and you know what? I'm for creating a group text with our guests today.
Yes.
Because that would bring me joy, delight.
Can we call it 3 Jews walk onto a pod?
I gotta go. Is that taken? Let's get her up to the YouTube stage. We are available on YouTube like this. We're not as big as this YouTuber, let me tell you. Okay. But we are available at Always Off Brand on the YouTube. Let's get her to the stage. Let's start the intro music. If I can get to that. Where are you? There you are. And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. She is the founder of CreativeRx Consulting. She has done the biggest D2C brands. She is as far as the creative strategist. She, by the way, is the official Always Off Brand creative strategist. She is brilliant. She is funny. She's the one, the only. She's back again, Joanna Wallace.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on again. It's been a while.
It has.
It's been about 10 months. I looked it up.
I've aged. I have about like 15 or 16 more gray hairs.
No, come on. You're no.
I have one in my widow's peak, which I think means I'm going to get the swoop. Like I'm really looking forward. I'm like willing it, vision boarding to get like the swoop. So if we're going to go gray in style.
Yeah.
If your hair will listen.
You know, pray the elderly gods.
Yes, Joanna, thanks for coming back. And you're our number one hit. You're the guest that brought the most views, the most watches, the most everything on Always Off Brand.
You know why? Because the shit she does is hard.
It's because the job I have is a very good buzzword when you Google.
And, you know, as we were talking about before the pod, it's hard to hire the right people in this role. It's hard to understand what a creative team and strategist, what it should look like. Should you hire outside? Should you hire in? So Joanna, what's happened? What's going on since the last time we chatted? What's going on in this market?
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. I feel like we go through these phases, right? So everybody had an agency in the beginning, you know, like the Tube Sciences, the Mute 6, the Common Thread Collective. And then there was this push of like, let's go in-house. I don't think every brand should go in-house. Anyway, so there was this big push to go in-house. And I think that now what's really interesting is that, you know, the job has matured. The job is new and the job has matured. So there's kind of these like cohorts almost of people who've come up in the creative strategy world. And there's like these early rounds that come from these major agencies and then kind of went in-house places because it's calmer usually. And then I think a lot of them have now gone out on their own and are consulting and want to be their own bosses. And I think that's really interesting. So there's still, you know, waves of creative strategists, some that have come before AI really took over, some that have come after AI. So I really think that like these people who've been around the block for a long time are either running departments, running, you know, agencies, or have really gone out on their own. And then those in-house slots are getting filled by like younger or newer cohorts.
So can you tell us the reason you feel most brands should go in-house?
I don't think most brands. I think it truly depends on where you are with your scaling and like what kind of brand you are. So I think like it's very hard for companies to find an agency that truly matches and understands their brand. But I think if you can find one that truly gets you and is truly a long-term partner, that's phenomenal. And I really think that smaller brands, if you can find that, stick with it. I do think though that it's hard to find a match with agencies, and I see all these brands go, we've used so many agencies, you know, we haven't found one we like. Ugh, we're so frustrated. Let's just go in-house. And I think there are benefits to that and there are negatives to that. I think when you're hiring for in-house, that director of creative strategy or that senior strategist that you hire is going to determine whether your internal team actually works or whether your internal team is going off of vibes. So that's really the key hire, because they're directing how everybody thinks. And if you don't have somebody who has real experience at agencies, you go blind when you go in-house. You're not exposed to all this data. So you have to have all that data in your back pocket before you go in-house. So that's why I really help with hiring for those roles, because that's so key, and they can train everybody else. But if you don't have the right person training everybody else, you're at a true disadvantage.
Got it. But how is AI affecting all this? Because I remember, I mean, especially even at my company, when these sites like Meta and Amazon they're like, we have tools to create ads for you now. You know, there was all this buzz like, are people going to lose their jobs? Are creative team members, are we going to cut back because we're going to use these tools? How's AI affecting these teams?
I think there's definitely some brands that got overexcited and they were like, yay, we can fire everybody and just have like AI do everything. And you see them come crawling back now.
Tail tucked.
Yeah. And like also AI is getting expensive. So like sometimes it's not actually cheaper than having your team, but
that's so interesting. I never even thought about it that way. That AI, when it started, it was basically free for everyone. But of course, I didn't even think about that. I feel stupid for not even thinking about it.
No, yeah, my free I don't pay for any of this, and they've just shut me down. I can ask one question, then I'm out.
Oh, I pay $20 for chat. I do like to have that. But okay, I'm sorry. Go on.
No, but it's actually really funny because like I'll be in Claude and I was like working on this audit and I was just like me and Claude just trapped together in a room for like 2 weeks. It got like real weird. But basically Claude would like push back and didn't want to do work. And what I really, it'll be like, go find the answer and tell me, and then I'll build this for you. And I'm like, but I've already given you the documents with the data, you find it. And it's like, oh, fine. And I really think that these
petulant teenager.
Yeah, I think they're trying to protect their energy. And like I don't understand how these data centers work. I don't understand how companies like Anthropic work. But I'm getting this pushback of like, yes, we have the unlimited data, but it takes a lot of energy for us to go find it. And we don't want to spend that money to go find it.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
We're going to get priced out. Like like the amount of money that I had to spend adding like more tokens to Claude because I needed to do this audit and because I was on it so much, like I had to pay my way through that audit. Essentially, it was as if I hired an assistant.
Wow.
Damn.
But in terms of what it's producing, I mean, there's got to be some tools out there that are, I think when people think of AI creating their ads, they're thinking honestly too small, and they need to look at how AI is helping create your creative team make better creative, or be, if not necessarily better creative, be more efficient with making their creative.
And more thoughtful. Because so much of this job and so many reasons. So brands that are doing this kind of shallow creative strategy are the ones that are not digging really deep into the research. They're looking at what's working, but they're not looking deep into what's working, why it's working. They're like, oh, this ad works. Great. Let's make more of this ad. Or our competitor is doing this. Let's copy what our competitor is doing. Or LinkedIn says this format is trending. Let's try this format. So there's that like shallow kind of way of doing creative strategy. And then there's the real deep, true way you should be doing it, which is a lot of research. And research is very time consuming. and where I think where AI is just so freaking helpful is doing that research, scraping, going through the reviews on your website. That takes years to do. Immediate, instant, great. Pulling out quotes for you, telling you, calculating, like looking at, we used to look at reviews and we were like, okay, let me look at like 50 to 100 and get the gist. This will look at all of them and then tell you the percentage of people who are this kind of persona or have this pain point. And then, okay, well, if 60% of them are talking about this one pain point, then I should be making ads in this pain point, not this random review that I saw. So it makes your ads so much smarter if you use it for that research. You can also use it for making your copy better or writing your scripts faster. And then you can also use it for genuinely generating video or static images. There's so many ways to use it. And I think that there are these people who have gone so expert and so amazing and can make you anything you want or can make you a workflow of anything you want. But so many of these people in these companies who aren't consultants and own their own agencies and doing all this work don't have time to learn all the intricacies of AI. And so it's like you have to kind of learn it while doing a full-time job. In which case, I think it's really a tiered step of, first starting to help you with your research and your organization and your kind of personas, then helping you with your writing. And then once you kind of get that under control, now let's try to make some ads ourselves. I just think that there's so many directions you can go in, but nobody has time to go in them.
Yeah.
So you see these experts who do nothing but AI and you're like, oh my God, I need to be like them. That's their full-time job.
But who is there magic? Is there magic that this thing can bring? Is there magic? Is there, there's a bazillion AI companies and we all know that some are going to win, some are going to lose, right? Half of them won't be here in 3 years or what have you. So are there ones in your space that you're seeing flourish?
Yeah. So I'm kind of making my way through. And part of the reason why I leave space in my schedule is for education and for learning more AI. So I think that getting more familiar with these platforms. And again, I'm making my way through them. Like I'm not able to test 50 platforms at once. Yeah. So a couple months ago, I made the move from Chat to Claude. Great. I've been using Poppy, which I think is really cool because it kind of gives you, it's almost like Figma. A Figma visual of your work where you can have these, like a mind board, like, almost like you can connect, like I'm going to throw this ad in, I'm going to throw this Google Doc in, and then they can connect and to your chat and you can have all of your information collected that you would have had, let's say in Google Tabs. But if you're a visual person, it's phenomenal because you can actually see your web of research and information.
And you recommend that over Figma? Using both?
Figma is more for like creating ads. I would say you can definitely create ads in Poppy. The way I've been using it is like I was testing it out with an audit. So I had arms that were like, I'm looking at competitor research. I'm looking at internal ads. I'm looking at data performance. I'm looking at research, and I could kind of pull it all together. And then you have a Claude, an AI chat service in there that now has access to that connects to all the stuff that you've put on this board. Again, none of these are quite there yet. So yes. I love these platforms and then I hit a wall and I'm like, but this thing doesn't connect, but you're not able to watch videos. There's always that wall of like, I got so far and now you failed me.
Yeah. This is where I feel like SaaS for me and for what I was doing, it's like I tried all these different great tools and they did something really well, but they didn't put the full picture together. When I had my own shop for years ago, when I first met Summer Jubileer, I was talking to all these developers. I'm like, I just want to open my laptop and see my business. Is that such a difficult question? I'm sorry to I didn't think that was such a hard question. Apparently, yes, it was. Because to this day, you can't barely do that.
I mean, the fact that Claude doesn't know how to watch video is literally mind-boggling to me. The way that I think about this is it's so much like when Apple comes out with a new design and new logos for shit and this new stupid clear version.
Yeah.
But I'm like, couldn't you have made it easier for me to click inside a paragraph in a text. Like, I would have rather you updated that. I would have rather updated the like hold down to copy, to copy paste.
Yes.
We've got problems in these very small user things. Why are you redecorating? Like
there's mold, there's black mold over here, but instead we're going to put up some curtains.
Yes.
And it's going to be fine.
Yes. And I'm just like, who on your team is not understanding our day-to-day frustrations? What is happening?
So, I mean, you and Scott were talking earlier, Joanna, about just like the burnout that these creative strategists are having. Is AI helping with that? Or do you think it's doing both? It's helping and harming? Because I get what you were saying earlier. There's just no time for them to dig into this.
Yeah. So I think it's so hard because it's one of those things that once you learn it, it will help you. It will make everything faster. The question is, do you have time to play around with it and learn it? Right. And then the next thing is, AI gives you too much information. And so it's really addictive. So for example, I was doing this audit and it just kept going. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never had access to this much information. I've never been able to put these patterns together when I upload a CSV of data, of like performance data. I've never been able to do this fast. Therefore, I can go deeper because now I have the time. So then you end up delivering something massive and you're like, how did this happen? I thought AI was supposed to help me. And it's like, yeah, but you have to still have those boundaries of when have I gone down too many rabbit holes and when are you're getting lost in the sauce. And that can be really challenging. And like the people I know, when we talk about this, it's like, we love AI, we hate AI, we love AI. All I can say is that we are going to look back on this time period and be like, we put up with so many annoying things because it's going to get so much better. And this is going to be like when we had flip phones and it was like 3 things to get a T, 2 things to get an O.
The T9 texting.
Yeah. Or like the boobs calculator. Like this is the boobs calculator era of AI. And I really can't wait until we have better tricks than that.
That's fantastic.
And that's your episode headline.
And there you go. Yeah, you need to write the episode, the name of this episode. You are the
boob calculators are back.
Yep, there you go.
I gotta
the
write
age
that
of
down.
boob calculator.
80085.
That's just the name of the episode. That's it.
That's it.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
No, you have great hair.
That'll be huge. Okay, so back to the burnout and what have you, and where we are with creative strategists, because there's a lot of shit talk. Sorry, Eva, it's our 9-year-old part of the Faithful 48 listeners. But is that D2C's dying, D2C's dead, nobody cares about D2C, all this other stuff. When I go look at the overall macro and the people that study this and are looking at the numbers and various things, I'm sorry, people, D2C's doing fine. It's actually growing about 15, 16% as e-commerce grows, as digital grows. It is a big part of that. So not to kibosh that. So there's big demand for creative strategists. There's still big demand for your roles and what you do, but why is it such a hard thing to find?
There's just not a huge number of people who know how to do it properly.
Yeah.
You know, it's because it's young and no one can go to school for it. So it's
okay.
Hey, no one could go to school for what I do.
Yeah, and
when I was in college.
Yeah. So I think it's like a lot of where did you end up working? You know, what's been your trajectory? And to me, I really think that if you haven't done your time in an agency, you just haven't seen enough data. And you've been in a just isolated bubble at whatever company you've been in. And what if your director is like, okay, but they're only teaching you their way of doing things.
Right.
And I just think that it's so important. If you're going to go in-house, you got to bop around. You got to see how things are done. There is no Bible. There is no black and white. This is how you do creative strategy. This is how you don't. And you need to get diversity of thinking. And then you
God,
I strongly feel
so good.
Everybody that's on the brand side needs to work at some point on an agency.
And it's going to suck. Sometimes it hurts. It's exhausting.
There's no harder job, in my opinion. Being on the agency and client services is beyond hard. It's why anytime I'm talking on stage, I say, what, Scott?
Be kind to your agency. And God, we all love you for that. Us in the agency.
Be kind to your agency. Because guess what? At the end of the day, they get 1 hour at the end of the day left. What are they going to work on? If you're awful to them, they're not working on your stuff. They're not putting the extra time to impress you.
Or they are, and they're hating every minute of it.
Yeah, there is the squeaky wheel.
Well, it's really about who's got the most money. Like, with agencies, it's whoever is your biggest account gets the majority of your work, whether or not they're torturous to work with or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to have both sides. I really, really think so. And there was this Motion boot camp. Motion is a big SaaS platform, and 80,000 people signed up for a creative strategist boot camp.
Are you serious?
What?
Yeah. And I was one of the Sarah was one of the speakers, Sarah Levinger. And I was one of the coaches, and there is such a huge demand. There is there classes, cohorts of people getting into this now.
That is crazy. Sarah Levinger, by the way, Brain Driven Brands with Nate Legos and Sarah Levinger. It's back. She's back on. So we got to pub that.
So with the rise of social media and how important it is to be creative and be outside the box thinking, and people don't know how to do this, and brands being like, getting on trends has never been more important to get your brand noticed. And most brands don't know how to do that.
Or they go too on trend. They have to just jump on something, and then they end up looking like everyone else on the feed. You have to still have that brand integrity. It's like when you go shopping for new clothes and there's new styles, I'm going to skip a bunch of those trends. They don't work on my body. They don't work for my style.
Barrel leg jeans. Tried them on last night again. Still can't make it work.
I look phenomenal in barrel leg jeans. I'm just going to put that out there as a fact because I discovered them recently and they hide everything I want to hide beautifully.
I sent a picture to my girlfriend last night and I was like, these make me look 10 inches wider. I do not understand what's going on.
Yeah. I found them and I was like, I'm going to look hideous. I'm going to look like a troll. And then I was like, this is it. Better never go out of style.
Look at this silhouette.
I know.
And we'll be back with more pant talk right here and Always Off Brand. We have more to dig into on the official creative strategist. I have a question. Is 80,000 people want to be creative clip strategists? Because I think the world is just one big clip when we come back.
Hi, this is Max Smith, content strategist and site experience manager, and you're listening to Always Off Brand.
All right, welcome back, Joanna Wallace. So one of the things that Summer and I talk a lot about, we talk about on the show, it's a constant theme after 6 years. From a creative strategist, and you work for these big, huge D2Cs and still do and consult and everything else like that, where does Amazon fall? Because when I was working with Sarah Levinger and Nate Legos and all these other things, they're like, yeah, I don't know anything about, I don't talk to the Amazon team. I don't know about Amazon. Like Amazon, it was like a foreign land. I'm like, it's 50+% of e-commerce. It's the same stuff. All your things that you guys do apply. Why is this not one voice? Why isn't everybody in the room?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, everything is related. There's data that is left on the table if your departments aren't talking. And that drives me crazy because we pay so much money to get that data and then just waste it. So I think like when I started at HexCloud, like the first thing I did is like, okay, I want to talk to the Costco team, which I know is not Amazon, but it's another channel.
No, same thing.
You're obviously selling real well. What are you doing that is doing so well? What am I doing that is doing so well? Maybe I have a line that your salespeople can use. Maybe you have a line that you know works or a question you're always getting that I can use. And then at the same time, Amazon, like I started having meetings with the head of Amazon and it was great. And I think that, going in-house for the first time, that really opened my eyes to the amount of data and collaboration opportunities there are and how siloed these different departments are. And so the most important thing I started doing was like these monthly meetings, like not just with your retention team, not just with your website team, but there's so much overlap with Amazon. And I would give the Amazon team, like, here's our top performing static images and our top performing videos. We'll fix it so it's the correct length with the amount of graphics in the right place. Boom, test it. There's no point in not. It is like 5 seconds of my time to make a version that works for Amazon.
You've already made the creative. You already done the hardest part.
But I think part of it is also, I know you, Summer, were talking about like having meta ads drive to Amazon. I think that a lot of companies, or at least the companies I've worked with, have really kept those separate. So your meta ads drive to the website and your Amazon is just separate. And here's the thing that like, pricks up, whatever. Here's the thing that like I get flagged is when you are doing e-com, you are getting judged on your sales for the website. So like if I'm making meta ads and it's not driving to the website and it's driving to Amazon, the Amazon team might get credit, and then I'm not hitting my KPIs. Or what if, I'm driving them to go to Costco or go to Target or whatever it is. And so there needs to be a better understanding holistically of the role of meta in helping all these channels, even if you can't directly give it credit.
Rising tides lifts all boats, right?
Yeah.
So if you are seeing an overall lift, it could be working. And a lot of people don't want to buy on your direct to consumer site, but they want to learn on that site. And so you need to give your e-com team different KPIs. Mm-hmm. Maybe your .com isn't where you're acquiring new customers, but that's your CRM. That's how you are keeping people invested in your brand. But maybe they want to buy on Walmart. Maybe they want to buy on Target. Give them that option. And it's wild to me how siloed each of these channels can be when really, like, at the end of the day, this is about the customer, not the channel.
Do you think it has to do with keeping your job? Because
so here's why it happens. It's organizational conflicting incentive.
Yeah.
It's no fault of each department head. They don't get bonused and comped and whatever unless their P&L, their ownership does what it needs to do. No fault of the department heads. This is a leadership problem. This is an org structure problem. It is rampant. It has been going on since the dawn of day. It is a major, major problem because, as we always say, the consumer doesn't give a shit what P&L is in what P&L and what department owns what. They don't give a shit. They want to buy your stuff. Yeah. And guess what? They're everywhere.
And also they're different personas. So like the compulsive Amazon shopper, like Amazon is like Costco, like it's a personality. And there's, and if you have your Prime and your free shipping, you'll never go to a website. If it's not a high AOV product where you'll get free shipping from their website, why would you ever shop on their website? So it's a much more bargain focused consumer. And I think that there's so much there of like, we have to build out that Amazon persona and then see if you can build Amazon ads on Meta for that persona. It's a different person and you're just kind of leaving that out.
But back to my tease before we took the break is it's all clips. I mean, it's all reels. It's all clips. I mean, this is what's working in video is working in Amazon. It's working in Meta. It's working at TikTok. It's working. The same shit's working everywhere. So why wouldn't I want my creative strategist having full ownership of the full creative of multiple channels and Costco and retail? I mean, it's all the same stuff.
Well, it's also a matter of like, how did the agency world is evolving and what they're offering. And so as the agency world evolves, now we do Google, now we'll also do Amazon, now we do YouTube, now we do this. I think that the real learning starts at these agencies. And so once the agencies expand their offerings, then all these people are learning all like Pinterest, learning those platforms at the same time. And then it'll start to happen more internally at these companies, because then when they're looking to hire, I have Amazon experience, I have this experience, I have that experience.
Yeah.
I personally think so much of this starts with the agencies because that's the only way to just get the mass data and the experience.
Well, the mighty Quickfire, we do it all.
I do love Scott's agency. Quickfire is pretty incredible. You guys do a lot of fun stuff. I'm actually your #1 Instagram follower.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, we have
released interesting stuff there. So listen, when leadership is focused on the wrong KPIs, that's when people fear for their jobs. I think that is so important, Joanna. And we were talking about leadership earlier before we were recording, and how so many leaders do not understand what some of these jobs require, and they focus on the wrong things. So as you're hiring, what are some things that these brands should be looking for in a leader?
Soft skills, baby. AI can't get them. I mean, AI can tell you that you're beautiful and you're correct in everything you do, but soft skills, it is, man, when you already have a job that the nature of it burns people out, you have to soften the rest of the experience.
Well, hold on. Why does it burn people out? I think from the outside, I don't understand what the burnout is.
The pace. So what you're doing is you are delivering, dozens and dozens of ads each week. And it's like each concept has 3-4 variations, and then all these different aspect ratios. And you have to get the ad text that pairs with it. And there has to be strategy behind it. And you have 6 ads getting made with 3 different editors at the same time. So you are just constantly context switching and multitasking, and it's mentally exhausting. So even if you're not working late, by the time I'm done working, I have no brain, because my brain has been running a marathon all day. It's been running 100 sprints.
I look at it as they have all these children, and each children have different needs. They've got one with ADHD. They have one that's top of the class, and each one has different requests, different needs, different ways of being spoken to. I mean, people are sensitive.
And then, oftentimes, other departments will dump stuff on them. We need you to do this. And it's well, that actually doesn't get us towards our goal of making money. Is this a side project? Where's the priority in this? But anyway, it's such a multitasking role that, especially when you're in an agency, it really breaks your brain, because now you have these little ecosystems for each of your clients rather than just one. So it's a lot. And it takes a manager who understands. And the speed, it's the freaking speed, man.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, everything has to be so fast, and
everything's urgent.
Everything is urgent. And so I found in management that it's so important to be that person that absorbs and reduces the chaos, especially because you need to protect your team from the outside influences of, oh, I saw this on LinkedIn, make this version, or, oh, this just popped in, or, oh, this person who you can never say no to has an idea and now you have to do it. And my role is protect them from the chaos, discern what is important and what is not, take the hits when you know it's not important, and I'll fight that battle for my team. And they're already so stressed, do not add to it. So then it becomes, for me, I like to do not specific due dates. I like to have priority levels. So it's different if you're at an agency and you have a due date for a client, but when you're in-house, it's I don't want you staying and burning out and working late on Thursday for an arbitrary Friday morning deadline. Why don't we just deliver it Monday? Why don't we just deliver it Friday afternoon? We're in control of this. Something else was ready. Launch that on Friday instead of this one particular thing. So I like to give people priority levels so they know what they need to work on urgently. But unless there is a hard deadline, we have a sale, I don't want you staying late because I created an arbitrary deadline. I want you to stay late when you have to, because you're going to have to. And when you don't, I need you to go to yoga. I need you to take a 4-day weekend. I need you to replenish, because I'm going to ask a lot of you certain times a year. And I need to balance it and make sure that you don't burn out the rest of the year. I have a rule of my team, everybody has to take a 4-day weekend every quarter. I need you to have an extended rest for a minute every quarter, minimum.
Makes sense. Makes a lot.
Well, you're kind of leading into seasonal downturn planning.
Yeah.
Let's chat about that. Scott's very passionate about what's coming up this season.
Got to start prepping in the summer. No one wants to prep in the summer. We all want to go outside and not think about the holidays. La, 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 but they're coming.
We're constantly driving the client. We're holiday to me is almost should be on the tail end of being cooked. And I'm already I'm what's spring 27? What are we doing? How we?
Do they love you or hate you?
They hate me. They're like, I'm trying to get through next week.
Yeah. So what's interesting about that is when you're in-house, what I've found is that the paid media team is always working earlier than the other teams. We always kind of have to, we have such a volume and such a lead time with like getting creators set up for something. And you know what I mean? Like there's just a lot that you have to prep in advance to get shoots going, to get strategy going, that whenever, a tentpole event comes around, it's the paid media team before the content team or the creative team or the website team. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that same level of urgency that you do. And so the paid team really needs to dictate the pacing of when tentpole events are planned for, not falling in line with how other more like slower and steady departments do things. Because that's when you end up in crunch time. And that's when you end up making less money because you weren't prepared.
Boom.
And that's when your team quits in January because everyone is so stressed during Q4 that you lose key team members, which has happened to me before. If you don't manage the Q4 stress to some degree, people wake up in January and they're like, I can't do this anymore.
Well, I mean, Scott, you always like to, like, I know it's not creative. Well, I guess it is creative. Like you're always telling brands, like, why are you messing with your creative in the moment, in crunch time? Like it is Q4, you're in it. Why are you requesting new creative? Why are you requesting to change the detail page?
I am, because the machine doesn't like it. I'm not against tweaks. I'm not saying don't manage it and pay attention. And if something's really bombing, get it out and do, make adjustments, but just, it's like Prime Day is coming up for Amazon and the rest of the world. Cause everyone jumped on Prime Day, Walmart, TikTok, everybody's just like, we've all moved the retail calendar. By the way, shout out to all the finance departments and everybody who does e-com. July is going to be tough to anniversary. July's 25 versus July 26. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. I mean, we've gotten questions of like, why is this down so much year over year? I'm like, don't look at that. Look over here. Look at how big June was. Why are you looking over at July?
But this is why during the tentpoles and holiday, you should have all of your plans. It's about execution. Then there is a moment where my point is you got to let the machine do what the machine does. We're all doing business with a machine. So over tinkering is sometimes detrimental.
Are you seeing that a lot, Joanna, though? Like,
am I wrong?
Of over tinkering?
You mean like last minute changing of a sale name and stuff like that? Or
yeah. Or a copy for a detail page, or hey, we need this new creative. We're gonna launch it next week because what we had before we don't think is gonna work.
In the middle of the holidays.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. Listen, you can do that when it's the website and it takes 2 minutes to change some wording and refresh. That's totally fine. Paid media is an engine, and we have already started that train. And so it's happened to me before, and I get it. Like, listen, I truly get it. Stuff goes out of stock. Bundles have to be changed. It's just a necessary evil. But what happens is you have to really decide, how important is this change? Is this going to affect revenue, or did I just not like the name of this sale? Because if you just didn't like the name of this sale, then do you want me to like let you know and budget exactly how much money and time it's going to take to redo 100 assets just because you want to put the instead of in front of Mother's Day sale instead of just Mother's Day sale? Do you know what I mean? Those subjective notes, pardon me, go fuck yourself. Notes that affect, like, we have to pivot this sale because something isn't working.
Yes, of course. Yes.
That's gotta go.
That's a reasonable logic.
Yeah. And the other thing is that, like, when you're planning for these things, there's so many reasons to start early. But the main reason is that, like, people don't wake up on Black Friday and just start to think about shopping. Some people do. That's a persona. But I feel like people think about it as like kind of a void up until the sale, and then suddenly the sale is there and now it's time to like educate people. No, you needed to be educating people all year and going hard on education in end of Q3, beginning of Q4, because you're not going to sell shit in October. Toilet paper will sell in October. things
Halloween costumes are going to sell in October.
Yes. You're not going to sell like 1 million pairs of pants in October, stuff like that, like sweaters, you know what I mean? Like things that are going to be purchased as gifts. This is not, people don't buy in October because they know the sales are coming. And you have to prepare for that downturn and not be like, oh my God, it's October. Why is our business failing? Plan that your business is going to fail in October and plan around it and have revenue goals for the other month that make up for it, because freaking out your team that a seasonal downturn is happening when of course it's happening. And we all know every single year that it happens.
Yeah.
And then like the team feels like it's their fault and they freak out. And it's like, no, just this is when we're educating. This is when we get people in their head thinking that's the product I'm going to buy. I'm going to put it in my cart, or I'm just going to remember and put it on my list. They pounce 3 weeks later. They pounce 2 months later. You're going to get them. You're filling the funnel. It's doing work. Look at your soft metrics. Look at who's engaged. Look at who's clicking through. Look at who's adding to cart. It doesn't matter that they're not buying right now.
God, I couldn't say that any better. Good Lord. That's what I mean. It's a big train. It's a momentum train. So don't make massive, huge changes, because the machines don't like that. And just like 90 Day Fiance, Joanna, if you're going to launch something, you got to take 90 days to warm it up.
Yeah. So like, I'll give you a concrete example. I was working at Bird Dogs last year, and I come in at the end of September. So I come into, like the October. And basically I was like, listen, yes, let's continue working on our main customer, men, because it's men's clothing.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're sitting here in early October. We have not perfected gifting messaging at all. And we have not sold to women. And right now, yes, I want to get this, the men funnel working, but the people who are buying in Q4 are women, particularly older women with money. And there's a time and a place to focus on different personas and different priorities. This priority is women. We are going to get women. And so I spent October and November educating women, having these long problem videos, teaching them about the brand. They'd never really been exposed to the brand. We even changed the landing pages of some of our products, because what I was explaining to the team is that there's not enough information on this landing page for a woman to make a decision to purchase for a man. It's not their body. And we can go and see like, okay, I know I have this and that I, need to take into consideration. But I shop with my husband, but I need to see a man with my husband's body type. I need to see like the ghost mannequin of the quarter zip, not the flat lay, because I want to see how it hangs. I want to know if there's elastic and this and that. Like I need more detail, because you need to make it so that this is a foolproof decision, that this is going to fit my husband, not embarrass him, not make him feel fat or ugly. And also he's going to like it.
And I don't want to return it. I really don't want to deal with the returns.
So we work on the landing pages. You have to think about the whole funnel. And then we have these educational videos, and then we crush Black Friday. We just had free gifts. We didn't have a sale. Crush Black Friday with this older female demo. We had an incredible UGC creator who she's like 59, Carolyn. I love her. I'm probably gonna rep her. I'm like obsessed with this woman.
What's her name? We gotta give her a shout out.
Her Instagram is Classic Carolyn. She's literally the best like older demographic female talent I have ever worked with. I love her so much. And she created these like older women. Here's how I shop for my whole family by buying Bird Dogs, and it crushed. And we sold out of quarter zips like 3 times, but we introduced an entirely new demographic, entirely new persona that had never been considered because of the time of year. And that was okay that numbers weren't great until the purchase date.
And back to people adding to cart, there was I was just pulling it up so I got the right stat. But Stackline just shared that 83% of Prime Day shoppers start adding to cart 7 days before Prime Day. And I am not a discount shopper, but when it comes to Prime Day, there's all these things I've thought about buying. Should I buy? And now I'm like, I'm going to wait to see if they go on deal. And if they're on large enough sale, then sure, I'll buy it. So it's sitting in my save for later cart right now.
I add to cart also because, the shopper is savvy. Like, I'll pause and come back to that. But like, I add to cart now because I know that then I'll probably get an email or some sort of discount.
Yes.
I know that if I indicate to you that I'm interested in your product, there's a higher likelihood that you will give me some sort of incentive to purchase it.
Nordstrom has become fantastic at this. I have their app and I put all these my wish list. You add them to your wish list, Scott. And it's like, then you get an alert when it goes on sale. And Nordstrom's kind of become like the Gap. They're always going to be on sale eventually. And I get these alerts and I love it.
Nordstrom is life. Nordstrom is like the best store in the entire world. I grew up with Nordstrom. I'm obsessed with it.
But how come they're not doing well? Nordstrom's is not doing well. The Nordstrom Rack is doing great, but Nordstrom is not doing well. Why?
Because Nordstrom Rack is so good. It is. It's the best of all of those discount places. Right. It's so fucking good that it's like, right. And it's always closer, you know, the location difference. I think.
I also think their buyers have changed. Like yesterday I was at U Village, Scott, and I was like, this is nice. This is nice to see. Well, a girl's got to get her hair done.
I mean, come on.
And it's just nice to
call me. You usually call me on that route.
Well, I thought you were going to cut her hair. You're going to call me when you
She usually calls me when she's in traffic or when she's driving to get her hair cut, and we chit chat about this, that, and the other. And
I was listening to the Pivot podcast.
Okay, I call her. I do the same thing. I call her when I'm going to the dentist or when I'm going. You know,
it's I call my parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
I call them. They're like, "Are you driving?"
My parents are no longer here, so yes. Anyway, sorry, Summer.
No, so what? I forgot where we were. Now I can't. I'm distracted.
I wanted to talk about how the consumer is changing. They're getting smarter.
Go.
Yeah. So I was on. This is a whatever story, but I was on a plane a couple weeks ago, and the woman next to me and I were talking like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I make that joke of like, "Oh, I make the ads that you hate on social media," and she's like, "Oh my God, no." I do all my shopping on Instagram. And I realized I do too. People have learned to manipulate the algorithm to be their personal shopper. Yes. And so I don't think that when you're scrolling anymore, there's that level of rage towards ads, because part of why you are on Instagram is like, for example, when I needed an engagement ring, I searched engagement rings on Instagram once, set it around my phone 5 times, clicked my heels together, and suddenly had a jewelry store at my fingertips. Yes. And I did that intentionally. I don't want to go deal with research. It's COVID. I can't leave the house, and I don't want to Google.
Well, for so long, consumers were like, "This is creepy. They're following me." And Scott, what did I always say when
loved it?
When Instagram came out with the option, like, do you want to enable tracking? I was like, effing track me all day. I don't want ads for stuff I don't care about. And
do you know how many erectile dysfunction ads I used to get on Hulu streaming? And like, that was useless. Your ad dollars were useless. I have a very clearly female name. Maybe they're like concerned about like the people I was dating, but I'm like, I'm in my 20s and I'm a woman and I'm getting erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. I am served ads that are literally useless to me, whether it's a geographic where I live, they don't have any of those services or those companies. It's just like, come on, dude, what are we doing? I thought this is digitized like scalpel work.
Well, it's funny because my family's a hockey family. We're watching the Stanley Cup, and as we're watching it, a lot of it's in Canada when they have these ads. And my son comes running upstairs, "Mom, there's a new smoothie company," and I'm like, "It's like Smoothie King or something." And I was like, "Oh, baby, no, not here. Sorry."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh," it was really sad.
That is so funny.
Okay, Joanna Wallace. Where can people find you? Where can people go? Your YouTube channel is electric.
It's so small. I just started my YouTube channel because I've been doing more content. Most of my content lives on the Recharm at Recharm YouTube page, because I do a creative strategy monthly show for them called Fix It in Post, which is, by the way, the meanest thing you can ever say to an editor. I was like, "Oh, no, we'll fix it in post," which is why I named it that, because it's such an asshole.
You're looking at the editor and there's a lot of fixing in post.
Don't you hate when someone's like, "Don't worry, the shot's terrible. They'll fix it in post."
Oh, Summer Taylor is just like, "Cut that out." Can you change? Could you? Yeah, oh, no problem. No problem.
I was like, "Don't
edit fairy."
Yeah.
Scott will fix it.
I'll get you a mug. I'll get you a Fix It in Post mug. But because I got my favorite editor one that says, "Don't worry, we'll fix it in post." Oh my God, I love that. So the front side says, "Don't worry, we'll fix it in post," and the back says, "Fuck, I am post." But anyway, you can find me on LinkedIn, Joanna Wallace. You can find me on, well, you won't find me on Twitter because I'm never there, but in theory, JoeWall202. And otherwise, yeah, on YouTube, CreativeRx Consulting. Come follow me. I'm inappropriate and random, but also professional.
Fabulous.
Professional advice in an inappropriate, unhinged way. There we go.
The best, the absolute best. And when she puts some content out, people, let me tell you, it is fire, because the numbers are huge. People are picking up what you're laying down. That's all I got to say, Joanna Wallace.
You know, if someone could just tell my bullies in high school, I would really appreciate that.
Come on.
Well, Joanna, you know how to do it. Just get an ad for you in the algorithm about how fabulous you are. And make sure they see it.
Yes. Done.
All right. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
This is John Durkitz, Chief Commercial Officer of Cullimore Lines. You're listening to Always Off Brand.
I love it when a guest comes on, drops some knowledge, gives some incredible tips, tells you of some software that they're liking, that they're using. I mean, she was the entire package of what you want in a guest. So appreciative that Joanna graced us with her presence again.
100%. She is she's the best of the best. I mean, she's just, I don't even know what to say. She's the creative strategist of all creative strategists. And I only know one, so.
That's not true. We just talked about another one that you know.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
You know too.
I know too.
I love that she said shallow creative strategies. You need to be aware of that. And I just thought that really summarized what a lot of brands just do quick. They don't dive deep into why something's working or what channel it's going to be on. They're just like, oh, sure, worked. Let's go. And she talked about the burnout. We have a volume and speed collision course because it has to be so much content, so much creative pushed out, and the speed of which it's going, it's insane. So I have huge empathy for that, but I didn't know there was such demand. It's huge. I mean, 80,000 people came to that class. That's
unbelievable.
Wild.
Unbelievable. But Joanna is one of the fine people I've gotten to meet. Why? Because
people matter, and you are listening to Always Brand. Please like, please subscribe, please follow, please share. Do all the things. We could use the help.
See you later.
Bye.
Hey there, this is Haley from Quickfire, and they want me to read this so you know what this podcast is part of and how to find out more if you want. Always Off Brand is a production of Quickfire LLC and a part of the Learn and Laugh series on the Quickfire Podcast Network. For more information, go to quickfirenow.com. Have a good one, and thanks for listening.